A lot of us within the horror gaming community are excited to play several different titles in the new year and beyond. In today's video, we're going to be covering the most anticipated ones that'll be sure to leave chills down your spine. Bramble the Mountain King is a grim adventure inspired by dark Nordic fables. Although some of the environments may be very stunning and beautiful, the game aims to bring you on a gripping and unsettling journey. Your goal as you explore this dangerous and twisted land of Bramble is to rescue your sister as well as survive the deadly encounters with Bramble's many hideous creatures. The devs explained this game to have monsters that will be defeated in the form of bosses or boss-like stages, and a lot of people are actually saying that the gameplay style is very similar to Little Nightmares, which I can really see that.
Bob! Something very bad is happening!
My dad says the government is lying about everything.
Well, he's right. But don't worry though, I'll protect you.
Taking place in the early 90s is the game Greyhill Incident. It's a story-driven survival horror game about a classic alien invasion. Players will walk in the shoes of Ryan Baker, who's only equipped with a baseball bat and a few bullets and a revolver. The story will take you across the atmospheric neighborhood of Greyhill, which is invaded by UFOs and grey aliens. And your goal is to get across the neighborhood to save someone who is in serious trouble, find useful items, solve puzzles, and meet other neighbors as you fight to survive the invasion and guide Ryan through Greyhill.
A stormy wind came out of the north, and you think he can secure you from the angels of God?
Father! Those aren't angels! This is an alien invasion!
The Lost Wild is an immersive and cinematic dinosaur game that captures the terror of nature's most magnificent beasts. The devs describe this as a game that allows you to come face to face with dinosaurs that behave like wild animals, not monsters. Explore a prehistoric wilderness with intense cat and mouse style gameplay with the choice of playing with stealth, running, or even intimidating dinosaurs by using non-lethal weaponry. You can even create distractions and use your environment to your advantage by making use of items you've discovered to give yourself options in each encounter. Other things that players can do include exploring and discovering abandoned facilities, scavenging for useful items, and unraveling the mystery of the heart of the island.
You are no man of God. You're an abomination, a filth.
Wronged Us is a cinematic story-driven game set in a small town. The player will explore a detailed and abandoned town, facing psychological horrors, solving puzzles, and fighting monsters along the way. Players will be free to explore different parts of the town, interacting with various NPCs along the way, and there still isn't much that we know yet, but from the chilling atmosphere that is shown in this one trailer, this game's gonna provide some really terrifying moments.
You won't make it.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, where thousands of young to salvation have gone. Oh God, she knows I'm one.
Alone in the Dark is a reimagination of the original Alone in the Dark created in the 90s, and it's known as a classic survival horror game. And this is how the story is planned to go for the new one. Deep in the 1920s South, one of the main characters you can choose to play as is Emily Hartwood, and her uncle has gone missing. Joined with a private investigator named Edward Carnby, she visits Dorsetto Manor. You'll encounter strange residents, nightmarish realms, dangerous monsters, and ultimately uncover a plot of rising evil. This is a love letter to the groundbreaking original, and it lets you experience a haunting story through the eyes of one of the two protagonists just mentioned. The developers explained that while presenting a completely original story, they've incorporated characters, places, and themes from the 90s original trilogy. So no prior knowledge is required to play and understand the new game, but those feeling nostalgic will recognize quite a few things that come from the originals. Unholy is an upcoming first-person psychological horror game that has you playing as a mother that's looking for her missing child. Using exploration, puzzle-solving, and innovative combat mechanics, players will traverse between reality and a twisted, unholy world to unveil the terrifying truth. Players will experience a story driven by a deep, dark narrative with quite a few moments that require lots of stealth and sneaking, which makes the game all the more terrifying.
Jak sytuacja?
Nic mi nie jest. Jest pełno mazi. Nie ma prądu. Nie byłem...
This game is a survival horror story taking place in a creepy, isolated Polish town during the 90s, and it shows such a unique twist to pixel art games, giving it an even nicer touch. This town is consumed by an ominous presence, and you've come looking for answers. But things won't come easy because everyone seems to be possessed by something foul. You're here to find your friend who has gone missing after not returning any of your calls, and you follow in your friend's footsteps to uncover what brought him to this town in the first place, and why he possibly couldn't ever get out. Explore the festering town, interrogate locals, and scavenge for scarce supplies and weapons in order to fight ungodly manifestations that roam the darkest corners of town.
Sąsiadka jestem, a co? Jakby się coś złego działo pod ich nieobecność?
Ty jesteś pan Bartek? Idź zabić panią od białej sukienki. Teraz!
Could she really be here? Waiting for me?
Fans of the original Silent Hill series are in for a treat, with a Silent Hill 2 remake underway and another called Silent Hill F, who by the way has Ryo Kishi as a writer, having fans more than excited to get their hands on the game. We don't know much about Silent Hill F yet, but the teaser trailer looks phenomenal with some pretty disturbing moments thus far, making a perfect addition to the Silent Hill franchise. And with Silent Hill 2 being the most favorable game in the series, we're now getting a remake. Experience a masterclass in psychological survival horror as the main character James receives a letter from his deceased wife, leading him to Silent Hill, where they've shared so many memories together.
Mary?
This is Senior Medical Officer Nicole Brennan. Medical is overwhelmed. We need help.
A sci-fi survival horror classic returns, and this time it's completely rebuilt from the ground up. This is the Dead Space remake, and it looks absolutely phenomenal because the developing team made sure to stay true to the thrilling and horrifying intentions of the original game. You play as Isaac Clarke, who's an everyman engineer on a mission to repair a vast mining ship. He soon discovers that something has gone horribly wrong, and the ship's crew has been slaughtered, with Isaac's beloved partner Nicole lost on board in the process. Trapped with terrifying and hostile creatures around, Isaac faces a battle for survival not only against the escalating terrors of the ship, but against his own crumbling sanity. Since the original Dead Space remains a huge fan favorite, the development team on the remake has made sure to stay careful when approaching the narrative. With that being said, there are some changes not just with the graphics, but the game is also scripted differently. The team wants to create the same chilling and terrifying experience that players felt when playing the original Dead Space, which means keeping things fresh. The Dead Space remake aims to tell the game's story not only for new players, but for returning players as well, which I think is magnificent. There's gonna be some really good surprises once this comes out, so be ready.
I think it's me. It's all falling apart here. I can't believe what's happening.
For those of you that are fans of the horror simulator The Forest, its sequel, Sons of the Forest, is coming out in February of 2023. You as the player are sent to find a missing billionaire on a remote island, but instead find yourself in a cannibal-infested hellscape. Nowhere around you is safe, and you're forced to fight against a range of mutated creatures, some who are almost human-like, and others who are like nothing you've ever seen before. The good news is that you'll have the choice of equipping weapons such as pistols, axes, and more in order to help protect yourself and those you care for. And as the seasons change, remember that resources can be very scarce, and you're never alone when it comes time to look for a meal. Craft, build, and struggle to survive with friends or alone if you dare. And that is going to conclude today's list of the top darkest horror games coming in 2023 and beyond. Don't forget to leave a comment about what game you're most excited to play within the new year, and make sure to tap that like button and hit subscribe if you found this video entertaining and even helpful. And as always, I really hope to see you all in the next video.